Okay, Chinese assassin ninja style. Okay, we're going to talk today about a guy called Dian Wei. I've got my notes off screen, so sorry for keep looking off screen. But my name's Antony Cummins. I'm a historical researcher and I deal with historical ninjutsu and samurai warfare. And of course that means going back to old China. So John Hayter, a friend of mine, sent me this link to this guy, and he's a famous Chinese man, and he basically is famous for being sort of a general or whatever, you know, a Chinese good warrior. But there's a story about his earlier life which needs to be told, and that's when he disguised himself and murdered a man and a wife in their house. Now, why is it ninja style-y? Not because it's assassination. Oh no, it's because of the way he infiltrates the house. So this is another example of ninjutsu in China. So, you know, we've talked about the ninja-China connection before. So this guy, this Chinese master of like axe and halberd, and he's strong and he's buff and he's a good martial artist and probably about 5 foot tall. Let's be truthful. He was probably about 5 foot tall, but built like this. And he said he would help. Now I'm going to stop. I'm not going to say the Chinese names because I get the Chinese names so wrong, but the Liu family. And he was going to take revenge for them and help them in a story of revenge, which is worldwide. Blood feuds are a worldwide thing. So what he does, he needs to get into the house. The house is too well defended to kill this guy, his enemy, the enemy of his new friends. So what he does is he dresses himself as a marquis, which is basically Duke, Lord, Earl, you know, a marquis, how you do it. And basically he says, what he does is he puts together some good clothes, he gets a carriage, hides his weapons in the carriage, but turns up with food. So what he gets to the gates, and he's obviously well-dressed, aristocratic, so they just let him in. So he gets out all dressed up, speaking like an aristocrat, talking to everyone. He pulls out a knife and a dagger and kills the main guy, and then kills his wife. Because why not? You're going to do one, do them both. And he does them both. And then basically he goes back to his car and he grabs off his massive weapon and he's like, right, what are you going to do about it? And he goes away and he leaves the gate and everybody's like, oh my God. At this point they should have murdered him, and they probably could have murdered him. But he's meant to be such a hard character, which it's a confusing in the story because they don't know he's a hard character. They don't know who he is. But he is a hard character. And he's going away and the news gets to the marketplace. The marketplace is in uproar. Everybody's following him. Apparently, like 100 blokes are following him with weapons, and nobody will come near him. He's that formidable. But in the end, he meets up with his own forces, and the different forces fight, and there's a big hoo-ha. So, but it's an interesting story that it's about infiltration into the enemy section. Now, ninjutsu in Japan says don't dress as an aristocrat because you get questioned too much. Dress as a lower person. But here in China we have the opposite teaching, which is somebody dressing as higher station than themselves just to get through a gate because nobody questions that fact. So we have this sort of dual idea that if you're really high ranking, nobody questions you, and if you're really low ranking like a servant, nobody questions you. You carry wood, you go in, you put wood down, you know. Really low people, which is the Japanese skill, and really high level people, which seems to be more of a Chinese skill, are two ways to get through a gate, which if you just go as a normal person, they'll stop you and say, what are you doing? Whereas slaves can go through and aristocrats can go through. The rest of us are like, stop there, me mate. You're not going through. So, guys, what do you think about that? About that Chinese assassination ninja style? So, if you're interested in samurai and ancient culture, I've just done a book called Book of Bushido. You can see a little advert for it now. Please get yourself a copy.